Hello, this is Wiley from Learn to Barbecue. In this video, we will be preparing one of the best appetizers you could ever do. The Jalapeno Popper with Sriracha and Bacon. These are so good, you almost think they could be illegal. On a clean open area, put your popper rack near the top so you can easily prepare each popper. Now get a real sharp knife, a jalapeno coring tool, a bowl so you can put the pith that contains the seeds and the membrane of the pepper. Now start lining up your jalapeno peppers. Now with the right tools, this is not a hard job. Just keep your hands away from your eyes or it can become a very unpleasant task. First step is to grab a pepper and position it so you can cut off the top right by the stem. Now looking down on top of the pepper, the white pith looks like a triangle. You now plunge the point of the coring tool into one side of the triangle. Now this is the important part. You need to turn the tool counterclockwise, like if you were unscrewing a screw. When done this way, all the pith will come out and you will end up with a very clean pepper shell. Don't mind if a few seeds are left, just make sure the white membrane is totally out of the pepper. This membrane is the hardest part of the pepper and the seeds have very little hot in them. I usually make a second pass just to make sure all the membrane is gone. The shell or flesh of the pepper is not real hot, and most people are really surprised how mellow the heat is. So you can get a feel for the process, I will core 2 more peppers. It is actually fun to do. You can actually just use the coring tool to cut off the top, but it is a lot cleaner and easier to do with a sharp knife. On this pepper, all the pith came out in the first pass. Each pepper will be a little different, but the tool will work on any jalapeno pepper. Here's some trivia. The jalapeno pepper is a good source of vitamin C, folate, and vitamin A. They are low fat, saturated fat free, cholesterol free, and salt free. Here is a larger view of my work area. The rack can hold 24 poppers, and as you see, the process is very straightforward. Another advantage to coring the peppers instead of cutting them in half is now you have a container for the cheese and a lot more surface area for the bacon. Also, the rack allows the poppers to cook evenly, so no black bottom poppers that you get on most grills. As far as prep time, the more you do, the faster you get. The coring time for these 24 peppers was less than 1 minute per pepper. As we get down to the last 3 peppers, you can see the cleanup is going to be easy. But you need to remember to rinse off both the shells and your hands. Do not start handling anything like a dish towel or other food or even your spouse. I speak from experience. As we finish the last pepper, we move on to making the Sriracha cream cheese. You can do this by hand, but a food processor makes it a lot easier. Put 2 large peeled garlic cloves into the processor and then grind them up till they're a paste. Better to overprocess the garlic than underprocess it. Now add cream cheese. Missing from the video is me adding the cream cheese. For it was so messy, I decided to edit it out. Now add 1 teaspoon of salt, and now add the not so secret ingredient. Add 4 tablespoons of Sriracha. The cream cheese buffers the heat of the Sriracha, so this is not that hot. I will caution you in that Sriracha is a personal preference, and what is mild to one person may be real hot to another, so use your own good discretion when adding the Sriracha. Now it's time to mix it up. Run the food processor until the color is all the same, usually a middle to light orange color. Now to bring out the secret tool, the Capela Jalapeno Popper Stuffer. Yes, it looks like a caulking gun, but is like no other caulking gun, for it is a master tool at stuffing jalapeno peppers. So we can prepare the tool. First, unscrew the nozzle. You will notice that it has a fairly large opening. That opening is the exact size that we made when we cored the peppers. Now it's time to load the tool. Bring the cream cheese and spoon out contents and load into the chamber. I recommend you use a smaller spoon than I used. This was also pretty messy, but I did finally use a smaller spoon, and then it was pretty easy. Kind of like filling up an ice cream cone. Chamber almost full, it was time to put on the nozzle. One thing to remember is that the cheese flows a lot better when it's closer to room temperature. Time to stuff. Grab a cored pepper and put the nozzle into the opening. Now slowly squeeze the trigger. If you ever caulked tile in your bathroom, this will come easy. If you have not, it might take a few more attempts. This one I overfilled, but in the end it looked fine. My second one, I took the leftover and inserted it into the opening and made sure I stopped short of overfill. This one looked better. My third, and from that point on, all my pepper stuffings came out great. In a matter of minutes, I had filled all 24 poppers. This one was even crooked, but I had no problem stuffing the popper. Okay, I promise this is the last one. We don't want you to become bored with popper stuffing, but using the Capela Jalapeno Popper Stuffer is a lot of fun. And now onto the final step, adding the bacon. First, buy the thinnest and cheapest bacon you can find. The stuff I bought was so thin you could see through it. Now, starting with the top of the popper, start wrapping all the way around. Then wrap each revolution down till you get about 1 inch from the bottom. The bacon should stick together, so no toothpicks are necessary. Sped up, but I promised the last one, but you could see this is pretty easy to do. So here's a full rack of jalapeno bacon poppers, but they're not cooked. We now take them to a Daniel Boone Green Mountain grill, set at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and we cook them for 30 minutes. I then took one of the poppers off the rack so we could firsthand see how they came out. The first thing you notice is the bacon is pinked, but thoroughly cooked through. The pink is because of the smoke ring reaction. The difference here is the meat was so thin, the whole thing turned pink, and there is no ring. I then cut the popper in half, and then you notice the cheese is not runny, but is still soft. I then tasted the popper, and all I can say is, man, are these really good. Thumbs up all the way. Bon appetit! If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Also, we really appreciate you watching.